what happens if Amazon jumps on my listing? Oh no. Hey, what's going on, Amazon business owners and very soon to be Amazon business owners? Bob Schneck with you, checking in today on a glorious winter day. Super excited to be here with you. I wanted to jump in and do a quick video. I had the opportunity this week to teach some live classes, and I had some pretty common questions that were asked of me. And so I thought I'd do a couple of videos on them. And what I want to talk about right now is the question, what happens if Amazon jumps on my listing? Oh no. People are always worried about stuff like that, and you just have to have some common sense, and you have to have some knowledge and understanding and know how to deal with it. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of different situations, ones that I've experienced myself. When I'm looking to select a product, obviously I want a brand new name brand product. I want to be able to get it from a reliable supplier, but part of the product selection is understanding competition. Can you compete with whoever's there? So there's several tools that we use. One of the tools that I want you to become familiar with is called Keepa. Keepa is a great tool. That's Keepa. It's a great tool that allows us to look backwards. In other words, what it does, it gives us a historical perspective of what's taken place on a particular product and that listing over time. And so what we can do is we can go ahead and take a look at this and see if, number one, is Amazon on the listing? That's the very first question. The second question is, if they are, how long have they been on it? Are they just short term? Did they just come on recently? Have they only been there for 30 or 60 days? Because if that's the situation, typically what that means is Amazon lost somebody's product and they have found it, and what they want to do is they want to liquidate it, so they'll go ahead and jump on a listing for a period of time to blow through whatever inventory they've been able to acquire. So let me give you an example of that one. That's actually a really good one. I purchased some sticky paper fly traps. You know those things that you hang outside? And at the time there was nobody on there. It was a great product. I had a great profit on it, and I started to sell. And about 2 weeks after I started to sell, all of a sudden sales disappeared, or they kind of stopped happening. And so I went and did some research, and all of a sudden, you know what I found? Amazon had jumped on the listing. So I said, okay, I'll deal with that. And what I did is I dropped my price. Well, guess what? Amazon dropped the price as well. And then I dropped it again, and Amazon dropped it again. And then I dropped it, and they dropped it, and I dropped it, and they dropped it, and went back and forth and back and forth. And I realized pretty quickly that I was not going to beat Amazon in this case. So I put my price right back up to where it was originally, where I knew I was making a decent profit. And then you know what? I became patient. I just waited, right? Because after looking at the history, I could see Amazon had never been on that listing before. So it was obvious to me that they had lost somebody's product, that product. And when they found it, they were trying to liquidate it. So I just sat back and I waited. And you know what? I didn't have any sales for almost an entire month. But that's okay. That's okay, because guess what? Amazon eventually ran out. Now, I have a tool that I'll tell you about later that allows me to actually look at and see how much inventory Amazon or anybody else actually has. So we're not guessing, right? We're not hoping that Amazon's going to run out or another competitor. We're actually having the ability to do the analysis and figure out specifically and exact. So I knew based on sales that it would take about a month for Amazon to run out of what they had. And sure enough, guess what? A month later, Amazon dropped off the listing. They had sold through their inventory. The price went right back to where I was, and my sales began again consistently every single day. So that's a situation where it just takes a little bit of understanding and knowledge. You have to know what to look for and how to look at it. You have to be able to look backwards, okay, to better predict forwards. So that might happen as well when you have those price droppers, right? We've talked about that in the past where somebody comes in and drops the buy box price. Well, I'm not necessarily going to match them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at history. I'm going to look at their inventory. I'm going to see what they have. I don't guess. Guessing is failure in this business. Now, when it comes to product selection, okay, sometimes what will happen is I'm looking at a product and it looks really, really good, and then I will go ahead and do some research. I'll look backwards using Keepa. And what I'm trying to find out is who's on there, who's selling, and if I see that Amazon has been on for the last 6 months, then that tells me that might be a product that they're actually buying purposely and reselling. So then what I do is I look at Keepa to figure out, is Amazon sharing the buy box? Because on some products, Amazon will rotate with you and share the buy box equally. On some products, they just take the buy box and there's nothing you can do. So if I'm looking at a product and I see that Amazon is on the listing, that Amazon basically owns the buy box, then guess what I say? Next. Right? You got to know what battles to pick. You got to know what fights you're going to fight, right? And there's certain times where you just don't do it. And so I always get people saying, oh, Amazon, I can't compete with Amazon. Well, then guess what? You didn't do your research, right? You didn't pick the right product, okay? So again, this is not a game. This is not guessing. You have to know what it is you're looking for. You have to know how to analyze it properly. You got to know you're going to succeed before you try. Now, you know what? I got a bunch of videos that go into detail on all these different things if you want to learn more about it. But just understand that if you want to be successful with Amazon, the quickest way to do it, the best way to get from where you are right now to where you want to go, is to find somebody like me that's already done it and let me teach you how to do it and then copy me.